What is up, my YouTube fam? The surgeon is back in the house with another repair video. Today in this episode we'll be covering an iPhone 8 Plus cracked screen repair. This method and procedure is very similar to all iPhone LCD models. Keep in mind this procedure can only be done on original Apple LCDs. You may be asking yourself, why would I want to use my original Apple LCD when there are many aftermarket LCDs on the market? Well, that's a good question. I will explain to you in further detail the major differences and features that you will lose with cheaper aftermarket LCDs. When you install aftermarket LCDs on these versions, you will lose Apple's True Tone feature and have a poorer resolution. Some other setbacks will include ghost touching or non-responses to touch. If you're not sure what ghost touch is, feel free to click on this link above for a video where I go in further detail on what ghost touch is. Before we begin, I would like to give a huge shout out to everyone who has liked, shared, and subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. We are always creating and uploading new content, so please do not forget to subscribe and smack that bell so you are notified with our latest videos and giveaways. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to leave them all down in the area below. And if you need assistance with a phone repair, please feel free to reach out to us by visiting www.mrphonedoctor.com. Now let's step back into the lab and let's get this sucker dissected. Okay guys, welcome back to the lab. This is the 8 Plus that we are going to be working on today. As you can see, the touch is fully working. It does have some pretty bad cracks down below here in this area. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use our new laser machine to remove this black frame bezel. Before we got the laser machine, we would actually use this bad boy here. This is a really cool tool. It does its job. We basically heat this up to about 220 degrees Celsius. We rub our LCD on here, and then we slowly peel off the frame bezel. Now with the laser, that is actually going to save us a lot more time. We can actually just set the phone on the laser machine, upload the correct template, and it'll just cut all this off. So I wanted to go in further detail and show you guys exactly what else this laser machine can do. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy on the laser, and we'll go ahead and get this frame bezel removed. All right, so we are ready to use the laser and remove all this black frame that is attached to the glass on the iPhone 8 Plus LCD. As I mentioned earlier, we did use a heating plate. But since we did get this new laser machine, I do want to go ahead and show you guys another feature of what it does. And by using this laser, we're hoping it will reduce any kind of risk when we're pulling off the side bezel, and hopefully refrain from damaging any part of the LCD. So let's go ahead and set it on here, and we'll go ahead and begin marking it and removing the frame bezel. Alright, the laser has finished cutting off the bezel. We're going to want to go ahead and test the LCD, and once we test it, confirm everything's working, we'll go ahead and safely remove this black bezel from the glass. So let's go ahead and move over to our workstation. Okay guys, here is the finished marked LCD. You can see where it pretty much cleared out the top, bottoms, and the sides. Pretty good. So this is going to make it easy for us to remove the frame bezel. We'll just basically pry it off, and off she goes. Now this is another method that you can do with the laser, so I just wanted to introduce this process with the laser machine that we have, so that we were utilizing it for more than just one task at the moment. So we do want to go ahead and test this, make sure the touch and everything's fully working, which it is. Perfect. So our next step is we're going to want to go in and just remove this frame bezel from the glass, and after that we'll be safe to separate the LCD from the glass. So let's go ahead and remove this frame bezel. So this should pretty much gently come off. We can just lift this here, see that? And we have this coming off really simple. Sure beats the hot plate, that's for sure. Look at that. Took me a few seconds, look at that, boom. So we're good to go. Now we'll go ahead and set this on our heat plate, and we'll begin cutting off the glass from the LCD. Okay, now that the LCD is nice and toasty, we can begin removing the glass from the LCD. Okay, here she is. We got a nice clean pull. Everything looks great. So now we can move over to the next step and remove the OCA from the LCD. But before we clean the OCA off of the LCD, we do want to test it. Make sure everything is fully working. So we're going to go ahead and plug it into our tester. Let's go ahead and get to a screen here. So here you guys can see that everything is working properly. So now it's safe to go ahead and remove the OCA from the LCD. Okay, now that we went ahead and tested the LCD, we can go ahead and remove the OCA from it. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so the LCD is clean. We do want to go ahead and give a test, make sure everything's fully working. Once again, remember, test, test, test. We test a lot here. Let's go ahead and plug her in. Boom. There she is. Look how beautiful. Nice and clean. So now we can move over to our laminating station and laminate the glass onto the LCD. Okay guys, welcome back to the laminating station. We're going to go ahead and move forward and finish replacing the front glass screen on the iPhone 8 Plus. If you guys did see our last video on the XR TP digitizer replacement, we did make a little mistake, and we didn't notice that one of these pins were misaligned. So I'm going to make sure that everything is aligned properly here before I give it a final squash. This will just prevent any kind of damage to the LCD in case these are misaligned. So I'm going to go and look down, make sure everything is aligned, nothing's curving in, that's going to cause damage to the LCD. And everything looks great, so we can safely move forward onto the next step and sandwich this glass onto the LCD. Okay, so laminating has finished. We can go ahead and remove the LCD from the mold. And we're going to want to go ahead and give this a test. So normally with these LCDs, there are some bubbles that do show up. Now these dissipate within time, so there's no need to cook the screen in our autoclave machine. So let's go ahead and give this a test, make sure everything is fully working. And there we have her. Look how beautiful she came out. I'm going to go and get up close so you guys can see the bubbles that I'm talking about. So here's the finished product. Look how beautiful she is. And I am talking about these bubbles. They were a lot larger when I mentioned them out, but they are slowly disappearing, which is great. So let me just show you here. Do the reveal. So you can barely see them, but they are slowly disappearing on us, which is awesome. It's one less task for us to do. But yeah, pretty much this was a flawless repair. You can see everything is fully working. Alright guys, so that's going to pretty much wrap up our iPhone 8 Plus cracked screen repair video. We do have some other videos in the works, so if you guys could please subscribe and be on the lookout for upcoming videos. We actually have some really cool stuff coming out. We're going to be explaining the digitizers, polarizers, and LCD layers on both the iPhone 8 Plus, or I should just say iPhone LCD series, and the Samsung Galaxy AMOLED series. So that's going to be a video you guys don't want to miss out on, because I'm going to go further in depth and show you guys exactly all the layers that are sandwiched together to make the AMOLED and LCD displays work. So I'm hoping that video gives you guys some insight as to what to look out for when you are refurbishing these types of displays. So be on the lookout, make sure you subscribe, and thank you guys all for your support. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, leave them down below and I'll get to those as soon as I can. So thanks again guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Cheers.